Welcome back, everybody. My name is Linespace. This is Note Taking. Mon's back up, because we're playing Digimon World 3. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. I just wanted a cute bride. That's not... No. That's not okay. I'm glad you're a villain. So we are now going to head back to Asuka City to take down the AOA. Gotta beat up the mean game master and avenge Kurt. Because Kurt is a pig. And not in the same way that Maru Manzaimon is a pig. Puns hurt me to sigh. Deep pain from that one. How much does a normal Numemon deal? Why? Why does Numemon deal that much? So yeah, we're down a third of our MP already. So that's how much effort that took. And I'll tell you right now, assaulting Asuka City takes a lot more. Because there are some enemies there called Raremon. They do not give a fuck about your physical attacks. So definitely want to be using Dark Shot on them. Now, the thing I'm personally debating is whether or not we have a need for Black War Greymon. Because we're not that far off from Black War Greymon. The problem is that we're going to hit level 90 soon. And the last 9 levels are going to take 10 fights apiece. 90 fights on stream doesn't sound like the worst thing in the world, since we can forcibly trigger them by fishing. But the flip side of that is, it's 90 fights. Done straight if I'm going to do it as grinding. So I'm not the biggest fan of doing that on stream. It does give us an opportunity to just talk about Digimon, which I'm clearly not good about while doing anything else. As I proved miserably trying to talk about Digimon Adventure 2. But I don't know. And I think the decision is going to be made more or less by where we're sitting when we actually go to do the Assault of Asuka City. Because, not unsurprisingly for how this game handles its quest lines, we're not going to just be going straight to it. There's going to be some runaround. I think part of what I might want to do, though, is get the counter crest. Because I don't necessarily want to just work to be over-leveled again. I think it's probably more interesting to have me have a little bit of tension with the boss fights. So I don't think I want to over-level again. I do know that we are going to do a level of speed training at least. Because, man, yeah, getting outsped like we were is spooky. Hello, Cardmon. Please be Cardmon. Yay, Cardmon. Smack the Cardmon. How? Okay. I was curious if the West Sector 2 card and Cardmon were significantly stronger, and no, that's just the same strength as the South Sector Cardmon. So that's fine. That's not spooky. And that pack is... I don't remember if that pack's useful or not. The best place to grind. And so this is arguably the best place to grind because you fight Dolphinmon, you fight Cardmon. The Cardmon here drop relevant packs, so would definitely be doing some work here. I'm just assume I'm gonna spend like 2 hours just killing Cardmon here in my own free time. Man, why can't the levels come faster? I want Black War Greymon. So yeah, you can just fish, get yourself either Dolphinmon or Cardmon, and then there's a Gatomon right there. So when you're getting too beat up because you can't kill Dolphmon in one hit, then you heal. It just creates this nice, relaxing setup where you never have to take a very long break to take care of your health or MP. Dolphmon, kindly die. And get a not bad amount of EXP. You get 98 XP, even if I wanted to go fight Divermon give the same amount of bit and only 20 more XP a fight. So this is probably the best. In this portion of the game, this is the best training spot. And later on, there will be a very, very similar one. And it is just the best. And I know this because the replacement for the Dolphmon dropped the highest level of training chips. So, not only are you just gaining levels, Digivolution levels, and money, you also randomly just get extra TP. And it turns out being able to boost your stats is just really good. Level 78, level 32. Progress. Yeah, I think for basically every Digimon, there is a Mega that you can get way easier than getting to level 40. Honestly, if we had gone the Growlmon route, we could be at Gallantmon by now, I'm pretty sure. Because you only need a level 40 Growlmon, and I wasted a lot of fights as Agumon when I could have been Growlmon. But I wanted to have an easier time leveling up the other things, that way we can make more progression on stream. Man. So this is the highest level training gym we have access to right now. Missile defense makes us stronger against machines. We're just gonna do some speed training, and as we've done before, we're going to be a save-scumming piece of shit. I think that there's nothing wrong with using save-scumming to make games, especially older games, easier. I think there are times when you can completely betray the spirit of a game by doing it, but in this case, you're just saving yourself time and effort. And honestly, let me correct that. You're saving time, because this is a stupidly limited resource that plays a critical role to how high your stats are, and gaining the extra levels to make up the bad training runs is just absolutely miserable. Now, the real question is, do we just keep glass cannoning it, or do we also raise our defense a level? I'm more tempted than I probably should be to not do the defense leveling, but we will do a round of defense as well, just to keep us a little safer. I am a very anxious RPG player, so I'd rather not have things go poorly. Because yeah, our defense is 200 below our speed, and our attack with that really impressive weapon we have on is, of course, way higher than anything else. Actually kind of curious where our attack would be without the weapon on. Agumon, you keep doing so well and then you keep failing! I don't like seeing you hit in the face a whole bunch. Reminder, by the way, all the rookie Digimon have completely different animations for these trainings. It's really charming. I love it a lot. Up by 65. Part of me just said let's just do all of them, but we're reasonably close to where we'll be able to do the advanced form of training for both study and yoga, which is spirit and wisdom. So we will just save that TP. Because then you can raise your stats by over 100 per training regiment. And that's pretty good. Pretty good. Essentially, waiting to do the trainings until you can do the super versions of them gives you the leeway to eventually start training your resistances, which is definitely part of why we're taking as much damage as we are. The elemental damage just gets to pass through us, basically, and there's honestly not much you can do about that. You just don't have a high enough level at this point to put a lot of points into training your elemental resistances. You could potentially do a bunch of other stuff to train your elemental resistances, aka track down and fight the enemies who actually drop the chips for them, but that's miserable. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Oh, Gessomon don't show up here. Okay. Well, we're gonna find Gessomon before long. I didn't do anything that raised our... What hit us for that little? I genuinely don't remember. Oh, right, it was a Divine Rain. There we go. That's why we're missing just this little bit of health. So yeah, as you can see, we're in a different waterway, but it looks almost the exact same. The button to go forward and down is the same one, so you need to make sure you rise high enough. These are massive time sinks. These are not the worst time sinks. Again, that comes later. There is a worse version of this. But the submarine paths are not amazing. Could be worse, though. Could be much worse. And sometimes you just have to take the fact that it could be much worse. Back! We're not using Dark Shot here to try and one-shot the Dolphmon for a pretty specific reason. And that's because we are going to be a little... We're going to go a little bit of time without getting to hit a... without getting to see an inn. So, anytime that happens, I want to save our Dark Shots for the things that could actually do some damage back to us or needed to go down in a reasonable fashion. So, expect that to kind of be the theme whenever I have access to the really good techs of Digimon. Again, we're dealing way more with Dark Shot than I would have expected. A buff to our spirit's probably worthwhile, but man, I just want that efficiency. My soul cries for the efficiency, which is the problem when you have a miserly RPG player. And as you can see, Blood Cape got the upgrade of having a West Sector opponent. If this drops Counter Guard, I'm just going to be so happy. There is one accessory that I kind of debate whether or not it's actually useful that I kind of want to try and get. Its drop rate is miserable, but it'd be really fun. It makes it so that your normal attacks are triple attacks, which against low defense enemies means they're stronger, and against high defense enemies means they're weaker. So, kinda ends up being a wash. Oh, we get 2 shots at it. Speaking of shots, Dark Shot. I just want to know if this one-shots it. I think Tuskmon has a pretty reasonable defense value. And it's super dead! Turns out, you launch a missile at something and it tends to stop being alive. Oh, is Dark Matter our base Dark attack, or did we get something better than Dark Thorn and I completely overlooked that? I don't think so. I think Dark Matter is just our basic Dark attack. Look! Happy Central Park music. By the way, just in case you're curious, no unlocking the trainings at other gyms does not unlock them at previous gyms. It makes me sad. Eventually there is some that unlocks all the gyms everywhere. It is so supremely late game that it kind of annoys me, honestly. I love that the bridge here has different music playing now. So, there's no one in front of the gate, and the gate is locked. You can't actually interact with the gate, which I think is a bummer. I would have liked it if you could interact with the gate and it gives you its locked message. If we go to the left here, then there's a weapon that's pretty decent for Kodomon, but you can't use it because you're going to just be using this Y-hander, because this Y-hander is ludicrous. Gessomon, how dare! Well, let's Gessomon show off that it's a little spookier than the Dolphmon, because it deals 4 times the damage of a Dolphmon. And, not surprisingly, it's also going to tank better than Dolphmon. Dolphmon nearly dies from 1 hit, Gessomon takes 3 to put down. Thankfully, I think Gessomon, oh, never mind. I was gonna say, I think Gessomon's just normally slower, and then I would have eaten my words, because clearly not. Oh, it seems like it was a really high damage roll for the 470 though, so hey, at least there's that. At least it's not my health is almost gone, just because of 1 Gessomon. Oh, we are so squished. Much fear. Especially since with Asuka City being closed, we can't purchase supercharges right now, because actually they might be sold in Suzaku. We'll get the chance to check that. But yeah, getting into Asuka, not the simplest thing on the planet. We have to go underwater to take a look over here. So remember how we have the sewer system? And how there's always been a chest every time we went down there that we could see, but we couldn't get access to. Well, now we're in the rest of Asuka sewers. We can get that chest, and there's some interesting stuff down here. This is another one of those tile sets I really like. Raremon's the enemy I've been hinting at as far as being an enemy that tanks physical attacks like nobody's business. So we're gonna fire missiles at them. And I did say missiles, plural. Paralyzed shock. Don't think I need to explain what's dangerous about paralyzed shock. Frozen can't move, Frozen can't move. Speaking of why it's dangerous. Thankfully, Raremon doesn't deal as much damage as other enemies, but man, it piles up when you can't move. So just to demonstrate the attack value difference, that dealt 289, and then we got Frozen. So this is probably actually a 3-hit kill, now that I see that. So Dark Shot's not the best possible tool for Raremon, which is kind of a bummer. With a higher spirit, though, would definitely make a difference. I need to stop poking myself about how nice more spirit would be, because, again, I don't want to spend the TP yet. Oh, right, no. The other side's a weapon for Kumamon, I think. That's the weapon for Kotamon. Down there is nothing. We just passed by a giant gate. And then here's the control room. Bzz. Who are you? You came all the way here to battle me? I'm good to go anytime. Let's battle. Alright, let's battle. I love this so much. Beep, you can't copy me. You have to come up with your own line. What? Okay, let's get it on. Datamon, I don't think Dark Shot's the best option for you. Again, the machine attack against the machine enemy. Probably not the best idea. Let's try a Dark Shot, though, see what it gets us. That's not bad damage. Deals probably around 600 if we don't get an evade. He hits 4 times. Holy crap. We wouldn't have died, but we will if we take all 4 on the next hit. So let's make sure we get a heal. Get ourselves back to full. Man, yeah, our speed's way lower than I'm used to. That must be why I feel like I have so many more tech points than normal. 348 damage there. Let's try Dark Shot. Because I like doing damage comparisons. So yeah, Dark Shot deals way less than Dark Thorn. So the logical resistances of Datamon make sense. 355. Yeah, Dark Shot's definitely going to get this done a little bit more cleanly. At least if it doesn't evade. Speaking of not evading, taking 696 sucks. Let's give Blackthorn another try. Hey, the triple hit. Oof, that was less than I wanted. Auto recover, how dare you? I can tell just how much our speed is not significantly better than Datamon's, by the way, by the fact that we are not rolling any double attacks. Oh well, there's a double attack, so we are still faster than Datamon, just not significantly so. Which could be a problem. Hey, we got the recover crest. I should use that, but it slows things down. You're pretty good if you can win against me. Here's a reward. It's rusty gloves. It's an ultra-rare item, so cherish it. Huh, okay, I'll keep it, thanks. I got rusty gloves. Great, I think. I like how something like the old wand and such would not be very impressive at this point, and our character replies like that. There are secrets to old armors and weapons in the digital world. Find armor Digivolve Digimon that know these secrets. Oh, okay. I'll find those armor Digivolve Digimon. And now we talk to Digimon again. What do you want? You want to go inside Asuka City? If I open the basement gate, you can go in. Do you have a Digimon Online staff pass? You don't? I can't take commands from a non-personnel. Okay, so that tells us what we need. We need a Digimon Online staff pass. Well, Kurt was an employee of Digimon Online, so that should be pretty easy. Except Kurt's a pig. That could make this way more difficult. Hi, Cyclonemon. Man, some names are easy. Just Cyclone plus Mon. And this is another 2-hit opponent. Cyclonemon can actually deal a fair bit of damage because it has a mechanical attack. It has a machine attack. So let's just be happy we got out of that fight unscathed. Because again, we have to go through Gessomon. Gessomon can hit. My cat's asking for attention. Nope, never mind, she's asking to attack me. Are you trying to make me howl in pain on stream? Don't try to act like you didn't go for the bite. Submarinemon has a really good design, and I do not like the voice for it. Props to the fact that they do make sure to keep the same voice actors for any of the Digivolutions that happen with the Armor Digimon, because they're far less grand than the Digivolutions that happen with things like Agumon and Greymon. They're supposed to be more restrained, I think is the point. That point is definitely lost later. It's... Armor Digivolution is weird, okay? But as far as the Armored Digivolutions in Series 2, they weren't supposed to be as big, and were definitely supposed to be all lateral with each other, so... Doesn't... Actually sounds good having the same voice actors do all the voices for the Digivolutions, but Submarinemon, it doesn't quite work the same. My cat's giving me kisses, because that's how she tells me she would like to bite me, and not get me upset. Level 84. We're getting so close to Black War Greymon. If I just did some grinding, we could have Black War Greymon fighting the AOA. It would be great. Oh, we definitely want Black War Greymon for going to the area after we finish here in Asuka City. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I would want to get Black War Greymon now, is because I might not... My plan would not be to grind to level 40, but what might happen, just in case it happens like before, because I'm about to enter my work week, is I might just end up at level 40, and then we're not going to use Black War Greymon, and that would be a shame. It's also not entirely true. I'd still want to eventually revisit Black War Greymon to try and get those dark techs. But, yeah. Yeah, I can make no promises, unfortunately. I don't know. We're only 28 minutes into this episode. Not exactly in stress. This is, by the way, one of those really long treks What makes this questline kind of better, in my opinion, is the fact that, one, there's a boss fight involved, and let's face it, having proper bosses and things like that always make a questline feel better. One of the problems with the Sepicmon and the Guillaumon questlines are the fact that there's no major fights in them, so they feel that much more underwhelming. This one has a boss fight, it has a certain amount of tension to it, and we aren't going to be going back to West Sector, we're going to be going to South Sector as the next step. So that also helps. It may sound silly, but not backtracking to the same location over and over again does make things feel better. So the fact that the world is now bigger means that I can do more backtracking and it doesn't feel as miserable. Of course, then you also get the benefits of the fact that traveling to places like South Sector feel more motivated because we now have more options. Submarinemon makes getting to South Sector not feel as bad because you have way more options on how to get there. You don't have to go all the way across East Sector just to get to South Sector, which is kind of nice. And then when we eventually unlock the other mode of transportation, we'll be able to go anywhere from anywhere. Kind of. It's actually way harder to figure out where you're going in that and where you're going to end up, so it gets kind of difficult to get anywhere, despite the fact that you can, in a lot of cases, get all four of the sectors in one hole. Dolphmon attack. Dolphmon smack. And then we bury Dolphmon. Man, it's gonna be so much harder for me to feel as into these fights when I'm not a rampaging death machine. There's just something about being a monstrous creature made of nightmares, skeletons, and the tears of children that appeals to me. I deeply love the aesthetic of giant monster or giant knight. And man, Digimon influenced everything about the aesthetics I enjoy so deeply. And it's definitely a big part of why I enjoy the Digimon games so much. Pokemon has a lot of misses for me as far as designs go. I tend to only like a small handful of Pokemon from any particular series, and that's kind of a bummer. It means there's a lot of things that I'm just like, that's a super underwhelming design. Even the filth-based Digimon, though, I still look at and go, okay, I hate you, but your design looks good. And more importantly, they elicit a response. A lot of Pokemon elicit no response from me, just a very solid meh. Oh, I was curious if we could just one-shot with Dark Shot, but no, we have to get crit Dark Shot for that. Who knows, maybe this Tuskmon, who did not get crit by the Dark Shot, will actually give me the Counter Crest. Because the drop rate on accessories is mercifully not as low as they are on chips. Yes! There we go. Alright, and since I'm going to be putting on the Counter Crest anyways, we'll also go and put on the Recover Crest. Because it turns out passive healing really increases your survivability. Recover Crest, by the way, is probably up there as far as the best accessories go. It is just a problem of it really slows down fights. So you super don't want to have it on when you're doing grinding. But when we're running around like this and I'm trying to keep momentum going by not stopping at ins, it's useful. And when we're attacking the AoA later, it's definitely going to be important. Tuskmon, I don't need to fight you anymore. Your EXP is welcome, though. Holy crap! Skull Greymon just ripped its freaking heart out. Holy crap! That was great. That's why all games should have criticals. For those moments where it's just like, huh, that doesn't usually happen. And yes, you do have to go all the way through the Dum Dum Factory, and yes, This is what makes these tile sets maybe a little obnoxious considering the amount of backtracking, because you can't unlock shortcuts. That's one of those things I like to point out about Dark Souls. Dark Souls actually has a lot of backtracking involved with it. It's just that because you unlock the shortcuts, it feels a lot better. Even if the time it takes is still a pain in the butt, it's still less than it was, which means that every time you're interacting with that shortcut, you're reminding yourself of your own sense of accomplishment that you got. And that's big. That means something to a player. Andromon attack. Andromon might get counterattacked for lethal. Nope. So yeah, countercrest is not a guarantee every single turn. Every time you get hit back. It's not a bad rate, and it's certainly enough that it raises your action economy more than basically anything else does. Why are you looking at getting up on the desk that way? My cat was looking to get up on the side that does not have room for her, instead of the side that lets her climb up on my other chair and get up onto the desk without having to do a big leap. Cats are silly. I enjoy them deeply. There's not a lot of great cat Digimon, unfortunately. Renamon gave us the fox Digimon, though, and fetishized foxes for an entire generation of children. Or would have if Digimon was as popular as Pokemon. Which, depending on who you ask and what your opinion of the furry fandom is a good thing or a bad thing. Makes me wonder if Zootopia would have happened sooner if Digimon was bigger. Who knows? Hey Junior, what's wrong? I can't get into Asuka City. If I had a staff pass, then maybe I could get him. A staff pass? By the way, they locked up Asuka City because they got the thing from Kurt, which helps raise the sense of danger. Clearly, they got what they needed, and that's a bad thing. What are you trying to say, Kurt? Maybe Kurt has one. That must be it. Kurt did work here. Oh, Junior, did something happen? Huh? Lisa, what are you doing there? As you can see, this room is a big mess. So I was cleaning up with Kale. Hey, Lisa, was there a staff pass lying around? Sorry, I haven't seen it yet. It's all Kurt's fault for keeping things so messy. Kurt was busy? What should we do? I'm sure that it's here. I know. Can you get my friends? If they help, we'll be finished in no time. Your friends? Yeah, their names are Keith and Nick. Hey, I recognize those people. Keith and Nick. Oh, you know them, Junior? Then it shouldn't take you that much time. Oh, and I last heard from them in South Sector. Oh, okay. So it's off to South Sector with us. So yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's what I've hinted at several times in the past, talking about how Keith and Nick show up earlier in the game, can be found in the world all over the place, similar to Lisa, and eventually end up being important. So now we get to go get our hands on Keith and Nick and make them do some goddamn work. I mean, Nick complains that other people aren't doing their work, so maybe we're just making Keith do work. Because Keith clearly wasn't. Keith was having fun because his job told him to go play Digimon online. Which, to be fair, as someone who's currently streaming Digimon, and I guess technically Digimon Online, technically, I support Keith's enjoyment of his work. Take it when you can, man. Take it and run. Out we go. Do 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 do. Out we go. Do 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 do. So yeah, we go all the way out of Dum Dum Factory, leave, go to South Sector, get the two of them. And this is another one of those situations where, thank God, they don't make you run all the way back here again. We will be teleporting with Keith and Nick. Basically, anytime you're moving with somebody else, they just send you there, which I appreciate deeply and wish happened more often. Because, man, this game's biggest weakness is absolutely its backtracking problems. The grinding element, that's going to be a person-to-person basis. I actually enjoy it, especially since it ties into some of the customization elements of what Digivolutions you want to use. But man, the back and forth is miserable. I'm not even going to bother dark-shotting since I now know that crit physical attacks will also just kill a Tuskmon. And of course, since we're going to South Sector, we won't be taking the same path that we came to get here before. Because we don't want to go to Plug Cape, we want to go to South Sector. So we could be going to the other desert, and that lets us hit the inn on the way. When I said before that we weren't going to see an inn for a while, it's because I knew I wanted to just run to Dum Dum Factory without going to the inn. Efficiency of movement. Or an attempt at least. I am not a speedrunner, and my movement will never be clean enough. Could I be a speedrunner? Yes. Most people could be anything if they really, really practice it. I do not want to practice speedrunning. I am a casual person. I am a very casual gamer. I like it when I get to take things easy. And speedrunning is basically taking gaming and being as not easy with it as possible. Andromon, stop. Man, you know what I should have done? I should have gone for the dark shot just so that I could make an anti-aircraft missile joke. I don't think the pun would be that strong, though. Who knows? Anyways, Skullgramon, when you're eating it, remember to chew the wings. There's a lot of little bones in that. Thank you, in, do-do-do-do. Thank you, in, do-do-do-do. We're so close to level 90 Skullgramon. I'm commenting on these things not because I'm impatient, but because I'm genuinely excited. I love Black War Greymon, and also, jumping to being a Mega is a huge power bump. And of course, then you're stuck there. Yes, like I've commented before, some Megas are stronger than others, but it plateaus pretty brutally, honestly. Some of the later game gets to be a real slog, just because of the fact that you're stuck at Mega, and there's nothing that's going to make it that much bigger. Hey, Elia! Welcome to the chat. We're running to go pick up some slackers. Hope you're having a good day. We have a Skullgramon. It just hit level 90. We can now load Blackthorn. And what's nice about being able to load Blackthorn and things like that is the fact that it means that before someone like Black War Greymon would learn it naturally, you still have that really solid tech. It does double the MP cost, though. So, there's that. That's when Blackthorn will be 120, which is what my brain said it was. So, hey, that's where I'm pulling the number from. I'm not an idiot. Turns out, though, I can both remember a number from a different place and also be an idiot. These can both be true. In my normal job, actually, I have a lot of people come to me and go, "You're going to hate dealing with me because I'm a complete idiot." And I tend to tell them, it's not that you're an idiot. It's that you don't know this thing. We're all idiots when it comes to the things we don't know anything about, but it turns out we also have our areas where we know a lot of things. I know a lot about this game, after all. I would not call someone who doesn't know Digimon World 3 an idiot. That would just be mean. This has been your moment of Chris just enjoying the music for a second. Has to happen at least once an episode, right? where I just completely lose myself to the music and any actual thoughts go away. Dolphmon, bye. Actually, no. I feel no sympathies for killing Dolphmon. Dolphins are assholes. Actually, during the attack to the AoA, we might finally see... So, you'll see that there's a gauge underneath our health bar. That's called a blast gauge, and it only fills when you take decently sized hits. And eventually, when it's completely full, something special happens. We might actually get to see that happen depending on how the fight with the AoA goes. And whether or not I choose to just force our way to getting Black War Greymon. Because we are getting really close. Let's see how many Digimon throw themselves in front of us between here and getting back to Asuka City. Because that's kind of just going to be the deciding factor. So if I'm like level 95 Skull Greymon, at that point we're just going to sit and chill for a little bit. And I know I put that as only 3 levels away from where we are, but listen, I can't be like level 96 or level 97, because those numbers aren't as pleasing. Our brains like it when things end on an even number, a divisible number, or a 5. Actually, I shouldn't say even numbers, because our brains don't like numbers like 4 or 8 as much as they like numbers like 0 and 10. So yeah, multiples of 5, or something that's divisible in a way that each person's brain likes in particular, such as, say, you're at 14 out of 21. That might be something your brain likes if it likes the numbers 7 and 3. But also, we're only 4 levels away from getting Black War Greymon at 95, so worst case scenario, that's 40 fights. And it seems like I might actually be wrong about that whole quality of fights thing, because we're at level 90 and we certainly haven't done 20 fights. Or if we have, they've gone by very quickly, and I have no concept of combat in this game. I even know where we would do the fights, because in East Sector, we can't access Asuka City's lab until, hey Shelmon. Shelmon drops the 2nd level of Water Chip. They're a good thing to train against. If I was going to train here in South Sector for just levels and not also cards, it'd be against Shelmon, because you can actually fight them here at this watering hole. Or, sorry, at this water, because you can fish here. Those are the words I want to say. Because anytime you can just get random water chips is nice, because you just keep running into water enemies. And this is what I meant when I said enemies just diving at us. And I'm not trying to make more encounters happen, they're just happening. Hey, level 33. 7 levels away from War Greymon. And then there'll be 40 levels of War Greymon, 40 levels of Metal Mamamon, 40 levels of what you get after Metal Mamamon, 40 levels of what you get after those two, and then an entirely different Digivolution line. So yes, I've decided we're probably just getting Black War Greymon, and I'm just going to go fight Zonbamon now. That way I at least fill the time with something a little bit more exciting. Also, these new Mon are basically the highest quality enemy we have access to right now, so they're definitely going to help get us those Digivolution levels, as long as they don't run away. Because they can do that, and that's super annoying. These are actually super resistant to physical attacks too. Dark Shot might give us the 2-hit. And hey, look, there's the Recover Crest ticking off. Okay, so we do get 3 hits on the Mamamon though, so that's good. A little bit less annoying than it could be. 222, holy crap. I didn't actually remember how much they gave. That's incredible. That's a lot of EXP. When you consider that Dolphmon only give us 98, 222 is pretty good. Pretty good. Honestly, these things drop a really high amount of EXP even when compared to later game enemies. These are supposed to be things that you are spooked by. And they give proper rewards if you take the time to be able to fight them. Let's see how you like a dark shot, because my attack rolled lower than I wanted to there. And dead. Okay. The real question now is just, does dark shot give us the one shot? In my defense, considering that I only took 2 or 3 of these Numamon, we probably would have gone to 95 by the time we reached Asuka anyways, and that means we would have had to do less efficient grinding. And also, we wouldn't get to fight Zanbamon. And honestly, I think it'll be really fun to have that narrative element of we fought Zanbamon to unlock the power of the Mega before we went and fought the AOA. So we went after the strongest opponent we fought so far to make sure that we had the power to defeat the villains. I like that. It's not a complicated narrative element, but it's a fun little narrative element. And I'm very much so... Like, this came up a lot with Teenage Exocolonist. I am very much so the kind of person who enjoys when you just have these little narrative elements that don't mean anything and weren't intended in the game, but you as the player end up having them because of how you end up choosing to play. And that kind of thing is influenced by your interactions with the gameplay. It's not something that comes from nowhere. So the game does help influence whether or not you have those moments. And the way that the Digivolution system in this game works really lends itself to having those narrative moments where you're like, what do I want to do with my Digimon, knowing it could get stronger, knowing it could go down a bunch of different routes. That's fun to me. It's part of the strengths of Digimon versus Pokemon as a franchise. The fact that Digimon can go down so many different routes means that you have a lot of flexibility of going, I love this Digimon, and I want to see how many different powers it can take. Or, this is a problematic fight for me, let's try this Digivolution line for a while, and see if it can't give me an ability that makes this easier. Those are pretty common concepts in most Digimon games. Some Digimon games just make it easier or harder, depending on the game, to get into those different tiers. Sorry, to get into those different forms. Some of them make it ludicrously easy. Honestly, this is kind of one of those. Oh, it's you guys again. Yeah, that's right. Come on, let's fight. You're no match for me. Oh? You afraid you're gonna lose? What? That's not true. Alright, if you want it, let's fight. I got squeaked at. So Zanbamon has dark attacks, so we're not even gonna bother trying to use our Dark Thorn here. But Dark Shot is a machine attack, so probably worth trying. Especially since our physical just dealt 310. That's the kind of damage that we dealt when we fought Dark Tyrannomon, so, you know, reasonable fight here. Hey, Dark Shot does get that extra damage. Get that little bit of healing going. 100 every other turn is actually pretty decent. Zanbamon, eat missile. $738, so that was our crit missile that time. How much does this deal? Zanbamon, by the way, I should have done a save before this. Ooh, how much is our counter gonna deal? We mimicked his damage number, that's great. That's not how it always goes, but that was really good. The damage range on your counterattacks, by the way, is really wide. But yeah, there goes Zombamon. $380 XP. Okay. So the fact that we didn't get a Digivolution level there tells me that we are now at the point where we are now stuck. We need to get a lot of fights to get these last few levels. How is that? I'm pretty strong, ain't I? Oh, alright. I'll give you this, so forgive me. What? A rusty katana? Oh, well... I'm going to live in peace here. Please leave me alone. Strange. I feel calm here. So just leave me here. Okay. As long as you promise not to harass anyone anymore. Because you in that swamp are a pain in the ass. So, we're now in that position that I've mentioned before, many a time at this point, of just needing to grind 40 fights. We're already, you know, a few into that, so it could be worse. And once we get in front of Suzaku City, I'll just set us in front of a fishing hole for a little bit, and we can talk. I've made a point of letting these last few Digimon recordings go a little long, and this one's probably going to go the longest of them. Might just make this a straight 2-hour episode, we'll see. You know, the 2-hour episode that the one before last was supposed to be. Finally all set up in the apartment and able to just enjoy doing this. No worries about other people. It's honestly really nice. Although I haven't had dinner. I might just need to go eat eventually for the sake of dinner. That accessory Dance Feather increases our evade chance. So honestly a pretty useful one, but I prefer more direct methods such as the HP proxy, which reduces damage you take, and the recover crest, which heals you back, than I do trying to rely on evade. I'm not really a big fan of random chance builds. It's why you'll almost never see me do crit builds in games. Which in some games has actually been a problem for me, because it turns out that you're supposed to just reach a point where your crit rate is like 80% or higher, and crit damage is suddenly the only way to actually deal damage. Me personally, I think that's a bad design choice anytime that becomes the case. Or sorry, I should be more specific. Anytime that's the norm in a game, like every strategy builds into that. If there's a specific crit strategy that does still have that failure chance, I'm more okay with that. From a design perspective. Because I still don't want to do the crit build myself. No crit builds, please. I like numbers I can rely on. Crits are fun, don't get me wrong. I think crits are an important part of RPGs. My favorite RPG, which, you know, is massively biased because it's also one of my favorite games from my childhood, if not my favorite game from my childhood, did not have any crits in it. And I do think it lacks something because of it. It's one of the few things that I would say would probably help make the game a lot better, but as far as RPGs go, it's actually a really lenient one. It's one you do not need to grind in, and the better you are at it, the more that becomes a true statement. Not that that always stops me, because again, I am just that person who likes to sit and grind sometimes. Because there's something wrong with me. No, that's unfair. I'm the kind of person that clicker games appeal to, and I've downloaded a lot of AFK games on my phone, because I like doing something kind of mindless. It's relaxing. My brain does a lot of thinking normally. I typically think pretty critically of everything, and it's nice to just have a break sometimes, to just watch numbers go up, to just enjoy basic mechanics. That's important for me sometimes, and it's why I decided not to do anything weird when it came to the amount of grinding I did. I could have just saved to a second file and just started a second game of this that wasn't the stream file, but I decided that I wanted to embrace the person I am. And of course now we see that paying off because we're not nearly as overpowered as we were, and we got to make 3 straight hours of progress thanks to it. Not having to get interrupted was pretty nice. Could really just focus on the narrative and what it was doing. Things like that. And with the next segment of grinding, we'll get to do that again. For a time. We kick trees when it's convenient. Get some cardmon, kill them, get some cards. Open packs make me happy. Do. I love card games so much. I don't have any want to go back to playing Magic, but there are times when I just want to relax and I play some Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. There's too many words on the cards. Like, honestly, my head just starts hurting reading through Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, because you have to be careful not to miss information on them. But there's so much information on them, and so much of it is useless. So much of it is just specifying restrictions, and is just copy-pasted from so many things. It's miserable. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a mess of a game these days. Not that it's not enjoyable at all. There's definitely ways to still enjoy it, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Legacy of the Duelist is definitely one of the things that I've put a lot of time into, both on my Switch and my PS4. It's a good time. If you want to try experiencing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's probably my recommendation. Just because Master Duel, you're not going to be able to play silly decks on. You are going to run into people who are taking things too seriously, and then you're just sitting for an extended period of time, wishing for death. It's actually kind of what made me stop playing Duel Links 2, is that the top deck in that was just so miserable. This is Seadramon, not a Dolphmon. This is overkill. Seadramon almost certainly just dies in one hit. I actually thought that Dolphmon were what you fought at this spot, but it makes sense that they're not, because they're what you fight at the other inn. And we're just going to park ourselves here for a while. Gonna get those last 3 levels knocked out, which we should be a fair distance towards right now. Towards the second one, at least. My cat has come up to say hi. She realizes I only need one hand to grind like this, so she can get some pets. I don't have a bed on my desk for her like I used to. The TV took up all the space for that. I can't remember what packs in this area are actually useful, because last time I played I really dug into figuring out what cardmon to try and hunt down for what things, and one of the two, either the trees or the water, were actually not useful like I thought they were, and I don't remember off the top of my head which. Doesn't really matter. We're not fighting them for their cards right now. We're fighting them just to get the fights out of the way. Because they're slightly better than fighting the Seadramon. Reminder, this is just the best way to grind in the game. It doesn't matter if the Numamon in the... oh, actually the Seadramon give us more XP and money. Okay, he fights Seadramon instead. I think they do. Let's check. Because now my brain wants to know. The Numamon might give us more money and more XP per fight, but there's also way more downtime between fights. So this is just better. Even if it takes 4 Cardmon slash Seadramon, you're gaining a lot more Digivolution experience, and considering how long it can take for fights to show up sometimes, this is way more efficient. And that's not even getting into what it would be like if we were doing this in West Sector. If we were doing this in West Sector, then you're looking at the Dolphmon comparison, where it takes 2 Dolphmon to equal 1 Numamon. And then things get really better. So, This spot may not be as comparable to the Numamon, but the spot we should be doing this at, aka West Sector again, that is absolutely comparable, if not easily surpassing the rate that you would with the Numamon. Also, the Numamon are a pain in the butt. Why deal with them? Also, who doesn't like opening card packs? It's mini gambling! I actually have known a lot of card shops that did some really skeevy things, repackaging stuff to prey on people's gambling addictions. Because it's really common for card game players to have some gambling habits, and I don't like that I don't like that form of making extra money for a card shop, preying on people's weaknesses. There's gotta be a better way. I'm gonna try building two different decks, two different style of decks in this, by the way. Typically, I am just a hard control player in this game. Take away cards from their hand, tell them they're not allowed to do things, kill the Digimon they put down. It's fun. Particularly because it plays towards the kind of Magic player I was when I played Control, which was black-based Control. Hand attack and kill spells. Hand attack and kill spells. You can play your cards. They're not gonna do much. They're not gonna stick around. But then there's also the green and white deck, which is pop really massive Digimon on the field and then buff them to the moon. Probably going to be white and black instead of green and black, just because green doesn't have quite the tools I want it to. Kind of depends on what I end up finding. I know that my understanding, though, is that the post-game does involve the card game for the World Cup situation. So that's why I'm thinking about, okay, I want to make the best card deck I possibly can. Not just because I enjoy those mechanically, but because they might actually become mandatory. Otherwise, the card game is completely non-mandatory, which is why it would make me happy, personally, if the post-game made use of it. Level 34. Definitely gonna hit level 40 during my off-screen grind. But again, I actually don't... So I make that joke, but I don't actually know how much off-screen grinding I'm gonna do. I just know that I'm going into my work week, and if I continue to only want to play this game, then we're going to get quite a bit of it done. And again, that's only a good thing, because it means that we can make a bunch of uninterrupted progress without having to do things like this. My cat is so comfy. I picked up the recliner. I was debating between a recliner and a couch, and the couch was twice as expensive, but I had money in the budget for it just fine. The recliner ended up winning for the sole reason of I sat down in it and didn't want to get up. And when you sit down in a piece of when you sit down in a piece of furniture that you're supposed to relax in, and it just immediately makes you not want to keep moving, that's a good sign. That killed any attempt at conversation between the two. So Digimon Adventure 1. I talked about the first arc, which is everyone getting their champions, and I talked about the second arc, which is Edamon. The third arc starts with everybody unlocking their ultimates and retrieving each member of the team. And it's great. The writing in the third arc is so good. Oh yeah, this is a change between 3 and 2003. You can actually max out a tile's fishing potential, but you just walk out, walk back in, and now that fishing hole is reset, so we can keep doing it. Not much longer. So the third arc starts with just getting the team back together. Devimon causing problems, characters going through their own issues. It's really good. It's tons of good character work, and I think it really shines how well the show uses the basic character archetypes and does something with them. especially after they've gone through a whole bunch of adventures together. It works so good. The third arc is by far the best, and it's also the longest, because first you get everyone getting back together, and then it's to the human world. And most Digimon series, if not all of them, I actually don't think Frontier does it. I think Frontier is the only of the three that never has the digital world invade the human world, which, yeah, fair enough. Can't make it too common of a trope. But yeah, the third arc, Devimon has been working for Myotismon the entire time. And once everyone has figured out how to get their ultimates ready, it's time to follow... Well, almost everyone. One person's a slow starter. It's time to follow Myotismon to the real world to look for the sixth Digidestined? Why is my brain arguing on this? Seventh, because there's 2 girls, 4 boys. Okay. Matt, TK, Joe, Ty, Sora, and Mimi. Yes, those are the original 6. And then there's a 7th. The 7th Digidestined is Kairi, Ty's sister. Honestly, the writing around that whole point is a lot of fun. Gatomon is an interesting character. Has a nice little tragic backstory, which, considering the digital world, honestly feels natural enough. The digital world is a shitty place, and you can get treated like dirt really easily, and Gatomon got that experience, waiting for the 7th Digidestined, who never came. Because she was sick and didn't come to summer camp. But finally, Kairi and Gatomon to get together. Myotismon is defeated. Myotismon goes, "I hate you, and I'm a proper final boss, so I have a second version of myself." He's defeated again with the first appearance of Mega Digimon, the ultimate form. War Greymon kicks the crap out of him. And that's the end of the third arc. The third arc is just so well written. It's reasonably well paced. It does have some amount of, this episode didn't technically need to exist, but man, it's fun. Like most things with this franchise, I don't care if this isn't strictly plot necessary. I care that it's fun. This is such a fun franchise most of the time. Even when it's being serious, it's over the top enough and sincere enough simultaneously that it's really endearing. Almost there. Give me Black War Greymon! I want so bad. Excuse me. By the way, off-screen grinding has to happen for the sake of card battles, just because I don't want to put you all through me fighting hundreds of cardmon to figure out how to get a deck built. That's why there will be an amount of it, regardless of how secure I do or do not feel in our level of strength. Yeah, it's... like, there's so many good elements. Wizardmon is a fantastic character. Gatsumon and... Pumpkin... I don't think it's just Pumpkinmon, but I can't remember what their actual name is. Anyways, there's 2 rookie Digimon that they meet and are pranksters just having fun who don't want to cause real trouble that Myotismon just ends up killing. It's effective. There's a reason why when the second series needed a final boss, they just resurrected Myotismon, because Myotismon was that good. A real sense of menace with that dude. And then, as soon as Myotismon is finished being dealt with, the digital world is in the sky. And that takes us into the 4th arc of the first Digimon series, and... the fact that the only 2 who get Megas in the first series are War Greymon and Metal Garurumon is a huge problem. It makes basically any fight not involving Tire Matt really bad. It also turns Matt into such an over-the-top edgelord that suddenly his character has no charm to it anymore. It sucks. I also don't think it works particularly well for his character. Anytime Matt and Ty had issues in the past, they would actually get physical with each other. Their fights were very direct, but the two of them had learned to talk. Between that and everything that happens in the third arc to develop Matt's character and the relationship between the various characters really makes the fact that Matt goes, "I'm a loner and I can't be around anyone else and I refuse to interact with them," suck. Like, it's a bad enough trope to begin with, but it's so much worse with Matt because we've known him, we know what he's like, and this is miserable and unnecessary. You also get the problem that when the Digimon Masters show up, they kick the shit out of the Digidestined so thoroughly that they have to pull the card of, "Oh, we're not going to kill you, we want to have fun with you," with then, of course, being followed with every attempt to kill them being legitimate and not just trying to play with them, leading to this sense of, well, then why didn't you just kill them when they were weak? And, of course, the conceit is that the reason why War Greymon and Metal Garurumon can't touch the Megas that are the Digimon Masters is because the Digimon Masters have had a lot of time in their Mega forms. But then you don't get any time to practice as War Greymon. War Greymon is just like, let me use my ability and I've killed the first Digimon Master. Puppetmon goes down pathetically easily. Like, Puppetmon has a lot of fun to him, and there's some real character they try to deliver with Puppetmon, but it ends up falling really flat, because it feels like they're working towards a Puppetmon redemption arc, but then he just dies to Matt. Matt just ices him. And it's really dissatisfying, honestly. Machine Dramon is terrifying, but at that point, not actually a threat, it feels like, and goes down accordingly. Then you have Lady Devimon, who fights Angeloman, and that's hilarious. Their fight is glorious and is so over the top and silly. I deeply, deeply enjoy it. And the fact that there's essentially a rematch in the second series is also really good, and that fight is also done really well. It does highlight one of the problems of the second series, though. The first series is spent doing a lot of Digimon murder, and the second series has this stick up its ass about, no, we can't kill any Digimon. We could never kill a Digimon. How could we ever kill a Digimon? And that's really stupid, because again, lots of Digimon murder happens in the first series. If they just talk to any of the original Digidestined, they learn, yeah, no, this is a thing you just have to do sometimes. Some Digimon just suck. They just want to kill things, and if you don't kill them, they're just gonna keep trying. Lady Devimon is the really good example of how the second series plays with that element, but is also maybe the only actually good moment of trying to play with that. Otherwise, it's just an overdone element that's teeth grinding. And the second half of the second series is really, really rough. I feel like the point of the second series never having them kill Digimon is supposed to make the show feel more kid-friendly, and also, you know, Digimon tend to be sentient, and killing sentient things is weird for kids from a lot of adult perspectives, so making kid-friendlier, especially here in the West, may have been a decision to try and help recover ratings that were being lost. But I don't know. I was not old enough at that time to be able to tell you what was going on ratings-wise and why decisions like that may have been made. Digivolve learned Black War Greymon. Piedmon is made terrifying and is a fitting final boss, but at that point I was so burnt out on that arc that I did not give a shit. I just wanted it to be over. And then Apocalypse happens, and the way they wrote Apocalypse is so bratty and petulant. Apocalypse has a great design, but he is not a good final boss because they undersold the hell out of him. XVmon swapped to Black War Greymon, and, for the first time, low tech. I want Blackthorn, I want Triple Fire. Thank you. Oh, can't get Flame Lance. Don't care then. Oh. Nope. There we go. Digivolve chart. I want to see what it says about Black War Greymon, who's our first, who gets the third spot. Darkness-oriented War Greymon. Nothing fancy, but it's true. And then, because we didn't take off the Digivolution we were currently on, we now have to go in and manually change our Battle Digivolve to Black War Greymon, who stat-wise is not that much better. It's generally he's a +10 on everything, and then a +5 on some of the resistances, a higher number on some of the resistances. But yeah, stat-wise, you should not feel bad for thinking that Black War Greymon was not going to be that much more impressive than Skull Greymon. But it's part of why I like the damage modifier system in this game, is because the fact that it lets these jumps feel big. And I'm looking forward to when we fight something and we get to really feel it. We're at 42,000 bit. Let's open some boosters before we move on. I will open those 1Bs eventually. Wow, we just got some 2Bs. Holy crap. Hey, that Hookmon's pretty good. Pidomon, Summon Devimon. The best card in the early game is Summon Devimon, so that's so good. Summon Cancel is why you don't use Brown Digimon, because it returns Brown Digimon to hand. Brown Digimon never cost... Program Charge. Do you want to search your deck? Yes. Digimon charges... Okay, so 2B is the most important pack in the game, because it has both Program and Digimon Charge. Also, having Summon Devimon just makes this pack absolutely ludicrous. The reason you want the charges is because they're tutors. A tutor is a term from the Magic community. It means, use this, go find a thing. Program Charge lets you find a new program, Digimon Charge lets you find any Digimon, and of course a Program Charge can also find a Digimon Charge, so it can just turn into any Digimon. A full playset of both is mandatory for the best decks in the game, along with something that I know isn't in this pack, but that's fine. Man, I hope I got a full playset of both. I don't think I did. I think I'm going to have to do more of that. 4B, do you have anything worthwhile? Well, there was a card there that we didn't know, that we hadn't seen before, so I wanted to... I should have clicked on that. I didn't. I apologize. No, looks like this is primarily just a Digimon filled pack. And then Rare Booster 1 gives us really good rookies. Yeah, that's a huge upgrade for our folder. Holy crap. Still need to find normal Devimon, though. So, you know, it could be better. We now are going back here, actually. Because now we get to go find Keith and Nick. And Keith and Nick are back this way. Hop up one ladder, hop down the other ladder. Out we go. And then down here is a special little port to call Submarinemon. If you go straight here after beating Suzaku Leader, then 1, you find a miserable place to be because there's a whole bunch of Shogun Gekkomon up ahead. And also, you find a very good weapon for Monmon, which again, continues to be irrelevant when you consider the fact that we bought endgame level weapons. I can easily afford 2 more Diaboromon. Then our black folder will just be godlike. Part of what makes black so good to go for, by the way, other than Summon Devimon counting towards your black energy without consuming any, is also the fact that eventually you get the equivalent of a trade charge, so just find any card in your deck without having to then give up a card, and that is colored black. So you're going to play 4 of that no matter what. Look at that glorious man. Monster. Digimon. Black War Greymon. Kill. The real thing that'll tell us how much damage that Black War Greymon deals is when we go fight Gesomon on our way back to Asuka. Holy crap, Shogun Gekkomon give almost 500 bit. I did not realize that. How much XP does a Shogun Gekkomon give? Sorry guys, I need an answer really quick. Because again, this place is just filled with Shogun Gekkomon. Ooh, he one-shots. Black War Greymon just decapitating things with its claws. Okay. That is 101 EXP, so yeah, holy crap, that is almost the most efficient way to gain bit in the game. Again, technically... No, actually, that's more efficient than Tapermon. Good on you, Shogun Gekkomon. If you need money, come here. Really, will you do your job for once? You've been playing this game since we got here. Ha ha, that's right. But this is a valid plan. They'll probably try to get in contact with strong players. You're not fooling anyone. From now on, you're going as planned. No way, I like doing what I'm doing. It's my free will. Freedom! These two are so different. Keith! Let's interrupt the fight, shall we? Excuse me? Oh, you're that kid from... Hey kid, you want to fight me? No. Lisa asked me to get Keith and Nick. Oh, she did she? Oh, we better get going or she'll be mad. What? Wait! We don't have time to wait. Take us now. Yeah, take us to her right now. Sure. Their tonal shift is so extreme, and I love it. It really sells who's in charge here. Alright, Nick, look for a passcode in the computer. Keith, you clean up the documents. Come on, hurry up. Roger that. Yes, ma'am. See, it won't take that long now. Lisa, who are those two? Oh, they're just my friends. Are they really just friends? Don't look at me. I'm not 100% certain what they're trying to imply here. Lisa, we're finished. Hey, we're done. Hey, good job, you two. So, did you find a staff pass? I love how there's still papers around Nick. Staff pass? You guys are useless! What are you guys doing? Sorry, I'll find it this time. Sorry, can you wait just a little longer? Oh, these three idiots. Hey, I found it! Lisa is very demanding. But that was off the record. Here you go. Yeah, I got a staff pass. Oh, you found it, Nick? You found it? Way to go, Nick. Thank you, ma'am. Kale, Lisa, I'm off. Good luck. We're counting on you. Be careful, okay? Unfortunately, it does not pop us out of Dum Dum Factory after that. But that's okay. Because again, we know that we were two-shotting Sukamon and Numamon. So this will be a chance for us to see how much stronger our Mega is. I love Black War Greymon so much. It makes me so happy to have. But also, I'm just somebody who likes this kind of payoff for grinding. All the different Digivolutions you unlock require an amount of work, and I like having them, because it feels like payoff. Especially when you're choosing to do things instead of just the level 5, 20, and 40 Digivolutions. So, with all this said and done, I think I'm actually probably going to wrap up the stream here soon. At the very least, I need to take a break and go eat. I'm definitely hungry. I haven't eaten since like 3, I think. Why not take a long dinner, though, and we'll see if I don't choose to come back, because I kind of want to go beat up the AOA. It's a good time. It's a good thing to do. But also, I could work on getting card packs. I'm amusing myself and nobody else. This will call it for this episode, though, just because I really do need to eat. Thank you so much for bearing with the grinding. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about things like grinding on stream. I use it as a chance to talk a little bit more focused about things that are on my mind instead of the normal just stream of consciousness I do, and I'd like to hear some feedback. No matter what, though, I hope you all have the best day that you possibly can, and take care of yourselves. What enemy decides to interrupt the outro? Mammothmon, you drop HP proxy. I like what you drop. Why would you interrupt like this? Goodbye to your head. that almost certainly should have been a 2-shot with Skull Greymon. I kind of wished it had been a Tuskmon. Anyways. Take care, everybody.